Hello everyone, my name is Asmogan and welcome back to the channel, and I'm not feeling super great, so if my energy kind of has some dips and highs throughout this video, I apologize. But I did want to address this while it's still fresh, and I don't want to bring it up on the main GT podcast because Ludus is most likely coming back for this next one, and we're probably going to want to talk about stuff that's more fun to talk about, and stuff, or at the very least, stuff that we can both talk about and have opinions on. I don't think Ludus knows much about this particular thing, about like NFTs and stuff. Not that I know an immense amount. I know enough to not invest in them, which apparently is more than a good chunk of people out there. This video's gonna get the comment section. I can't wait for so many people to go, actually, NFTs are totally worth the investment, and then they don't actually explain why. They just say that. Yeah, before we even get into this topic, we do need to actually cover that little bit of information, since there's plenty of people who still don't understand or know what NFTs are. You've probably heard the term being spun around all over the place. Hell, if you watched the recent South Park COVID special that they did, you heard it mentioned there. NFTs. Well, first let's just talk about what NFT stands for. It stands for non-fungible token. Non-fungible, for those of you who don't know what fungible means, it basically take that word and replace it with, well, replaceable. Non-replaceable, that's what that means. So an NFT is a non-replaceable cryptocurrency, again, essentially. And you're going to hear a lot of terms being thrown around, like blockchains and stuff like that. If you want a great video, that more or less sums up NFTs very quickly, it's not that long of a video, I'm going to link in the pinned comment below as well as in the description a very, very, very helpful video that helped explain this to me forever ago. I'll even show it right here. I did pull it up just to refresh myself. I watched it a while ago. Forgot to like it. Yeah, it's from Johnny Harris. It's NFTs Explained. You can just search that, but I'm going to provide the direct link. Yep, there's, it's a very short video. It's only 17 minutes and 40 seconds, and that's if you really want to quickly, educate yourself on NFTs. But yeah, that's the crux of it. It's a non-replaceable currency. And in society, we have non-fungible things all over the place. Typically, they're high art pieces like the Mona Lisa or things like that. There are things that are so unique in society. We've deemed them, basically we've deemed it so this is A, not allowed to be duplicated, or B is the true value in it can't be duplicated. Yes, some artist out there might be so talented that they can brushstroke for brushstroke duplicate the Mona Lisa. However, the Mona Lisa has more than just its actual visual value and its actual technique value. It's also who made it, when it was made, its historical significance. All of that has added value to it that is non-duplicate. You can't duplicate it, essentially. Now, the problem with that is that concept is now being force-fed up the ass of the digital realm, where digital goods are now being deemed these things. For example, the very first Twitter, and in the video I just suggested, shows this, but in the very first tweet made by Jack Dorsey on Twitter, the tweet somehow was sold digitally for over $2 million. I think it's actually close to $3 million. Now, at this point, you're probably asking, okay, sounds like there's a lot of money being thrown around. How's this work digitally? Like, do they send me in the mail, like a printed off screenshot and a nice laminated photo? No, there's no physical goods being exchanged. Like, if you bought the Mona Lisa, you'd have the Mona Lisa. You'd have it physically. This stuff, it's all digital. It's all screenshots. It's all accumulated pixels on the screen. And people are buying them for millions. No, it doesn't make sense. Good luck trying to. And so many people are like trying to jump on this bandwagon right now. They're trying to get rich off NFTs. It's an insane concept, because the value in them is entirely based on what people are tricked to believe they have value of. You don't actually even own it either. Half the time these things, you're not buying the copyright, you're not buying the trademark, you're not buying the website of Twitter with Jack Dorsey's first ever tweet. You're just getting a screenshot, essentially. That's the gist of my understanding, and that's the gist of what they are. No, these don't make sense. And if any YouTuber is trying to push NFTs, just know they're fucking morons. And just know if anyone else tries to push them, they are fucking morons. These are literal screenshots, essentially. The little digital... these companies will always phrase it as, oh, they're accumulated pixels in the right order to give this a unique item. No, it's essentially a JPEG. It's a JPEG that people are buying for millions. Why? Because they're stupid and apparently have enough money to be stupid with. So, at least there's that. It's a stupid thing. A lot of people are getting into it because other people are tricking them into getting into it. And if you see someone down below really pushing it, just know that person doesn't actually believe they have value. They just want to trick other people. That's it. They just want to trick other people into thinking NFTs have value. That way they do have value. That way they can sell them for millions. That's how this works. You just got to trick people into thinking they're buying something worth the investment. Anyway, so that little economic lesson aside, and a hazard warning out there. Don't get into NFTs. Don't fall for this. It's entirely stupid. You're not actually... Even if you do get into it and you buy an NFT, guess what? The only value it's going to have is someone else is stupider than you and thinks it's worth more. That's it. And... you don't actually own it at the end of the day. It's just, there's no copyright that comes with it, no intellectual, none. And again, oh my god. Sorry, the whole NFT thing is just, my brain always, like, trying to think, like, why people are falling for this, and then I just gotta remind myself, people are idiots. You know, people are idiots, and they don't want to actually work for the money that they have, so they just fall for schemes like this. Anyway, that depression of society aside, how does this relate to Square Enix? How does this relate to geek news, which is what Geekus Theoreticus is all about? Well, simply put, the president of Square Enix. Now, this is not Yoshi P, by the way. This is not Yoshi P. Yoshi P is the game director when it comes to FF14 and FF16 or 15. Well, the newest FF single-player game that's coming out as well. He's in charge of that. But this is not Yoshi P. This is, actually, does he sign it at the end here? I've read it once over, but, yeah, okay. Yosuke Matsuda. Yosuke Matsuda. Yeah. I'm just gonna read it, and once we get to that part, once we get to it, this is gonna be a longer GT. This is gonna be a longer GT Lite. This is gonna be a longer one. I would like to begin by wishing everyone a happy new year. The metaverse was a hot topic in 2021. For those of you who don't know, the metaverse is that Facebook thing that Mark Zuckerberg did. I didn't get into it myself, and as far as I've heard, it didn't do very well, so I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it still exists, but as far as I've heard, nothing positive. Inspiring a lively global conversation, first about what the metaverse is. Metaverse, by the way, also the term metaverse also refers to, like, basically any digital world, any, like, digital ongoing flow. Technically, the internet is a one big metaverse, technically speaking. And then about what sort of business opportunities it presents. Against this backdrop, Facebook changed its name in October to Meta, serving as evidence that the concept is not a mere buzzword, but here to stay. Because Facebook says it's here to stay. Like, that's kind of a scary idea in itself. It's like, oh, because Mark Zuckerberg and his and his shareholders are all like, yes, this is now a thing. Now every other company, and apparently even in the Far East, like Square Enix, is like, oh, they say it's staying around. You heard that? Facebook said it's staying around. It said it's going to be a thing. That means it's a thing. No, you know, fuck what the public thinks about these things and how they define what sticks around and what doesn't. No, now it's just, you know, Zucky boy said it's sticking around. So that's all the clarification we need. They're obviously the global authority on what's popular and what's not. Anyway, The metaverse garnered so much attention in 2021. That 2021 was dubbed the metaverse year. See, this stuff is so stupid, it's frying my brain cells. The 2021 was dubbed the metaverse year. I don't know a single person who refers to the year of 2021 as the metaverse year. Not a single one. I know a friend of mine refers to to 2021 as the year of the bastard, and that's because he used that word referring to other people so much that to him it's the bastard year. I refer to 2021 as the year of the Karen and the year of the COVID, but that's about it. You know, I don't typically think of 2021 as the metaverse year. Like, this is the year of the digital verse. You know, there's a lot of other shit that was a little bit more significant that happened this year. Just saying. Oh my god. I attribute this in large part to advances in extent. Why am I giving this accent? Because I want to give it like this to me reads so posh, so I'm reading it how I hear it. In extended reality, XR technology, the increasing prevalence of the cloud and 5G, more sophisticated blockchain technology, and other technological evolutions that have taken place in a variety of fields over the past several years. Now, I want to point out blockchain real quick. Blockchain technology is related to NFTs and currency. It's directly related to cryptocurrency. What a blockchain thing is, and again, the video I have in the pinned comment below and in the description, as well as that I just suggested, that goes over this as well. But essentially, just a quick TLDR of it is blockchain technology is, you know, all that information that banks, you know, do in the background of transactions. Like, you know, if I buy something from somebody else, I swipe my card, the bank is like, okay, this is your balance, you can, this is what you have for a balance, okay, you can make that transaction. All right, we're sending that money to that other bank, the other bank gets it, calculates it out, adds it to the new person's balance. All that information is processed in the background. Well, blockchain technology it says blockchain, which to me conjures up the idea is you're blocking the banks out of the transaction, and now it's just person to person. But all of the information that would have been done in private is now done over the internet between the two people and technically in public. So as much as it might sound like a positive if you just skim it and don't understand it, it's actually negative. Well, I guess that is a little bit more debatable. I'd have to look into it a little bit more, but that's the gist of it. And the gist of it sounds pretty negative. And other technological evolutions that have taken place in a variety of fields over the past several years. That is because these advances are giving rise to services that fall under the metaverse umbrella. The metaverse will likely see a meaningful transition to a business phase in 2022, with a wide range of services appearing on the scene, as this abstract concept begins to take concrete shape in the form of product and service offerings. I am hoping that it will bring about changes that have a more substantial impact on our business as well. Another term that gained quick currency in 2021 was NFT. Here we go. Non-fungible token. Again, this means non-replaceable, meaning that they're basically saying each of these tokens is the equivalent of a Mona Lisa. It's a completely self-contained, unique item that cannot be duplicated, which factually is incorrect for most of these things. But okay. The advent of NFTs using blockchain technology significantly increased the liquidity of digital goods, enabling the trading of a variety of such goods at high prices and sparking conversations the world over. I see 2021 not only as Metaverse Year 1, but also as NFTs Year 1. There we go. Given that it was a year in which NFTs were met with a great deal of enthusiasm by a rapidly expanding user base, however, we do observe examples here and there of overheated trading in NFT-based digital goods, with somewhat speculative overtones, regardless of the observed value of the content provided. There's supposed to be a period. There's supposed to be a period right here. So I don't want to be a grammar or punctuation Nazi, but can someone please put a period there? It's clear that there's supposed to be, and my OCD is acting up. Provided. This, obviously, is not an ideal situation, but I expect to see an eventual right-sizing in digital goods deals as they become more commonplace among the general public, with the value of each available content corrected to their true estimated worth, and I look for them to become as familiar as dealings in physical goods, which is a terrifying concept that makes me kind of want to vomit. like again, this is not all talking about. We're not talking about like, oh, you buy something over Amazon. That's still considered a physical transaction in the sense that you are receiving physical goods. What this guy's referring to is digital goods being traded back and forth, like buying from microtransaction stores and video games, where everything you were buying could instantly go away like that from the very people you bought it from because, oh, the game isn't doing as well as we wanted, so we're going to shut down the servers. Digital goods always should have a hazard sign on them when you buy them. Keep in mind, NFTs are basically these little .jpegs that some idiot out there has deemed irreplaceable. Even though half of these things you can take a screenshot of. But what makes them irreplaceable is their value, like the Jack Dorsey tweet. Like, oh, this is a piece of history. So yes, you may be able to take a screenshot of that very same tweet, but because this specific image has such historical value, and we've deemed this one the official one, it cannot be replaced. Just saying. This stuff is stupid. And it's very scary to me that someone who presumably has been in business a long time and has, worked his way up the corporate chain to become president would hopefully know at least a couple of things about, value of business. Now, microtransactions, you can sell the value of them because, well, they do have an active experience effect in video games. But NFTs, a JPEG, just gonna let that one sit for a second. Anyway, to address these changes in our business environment, the medium-term business strategy that we unveiled in May 2020 identified AI, the cloud, and blockchain games as new domains on which we should focus our investments. And we have subsequently been aggressive in our R&D efforts and investments in those areas. Now, the thing is, I actually see plenty of positive with, like, cloud technology, like having all the information put on, like a bunch of information being condensed in a cloud, so to speak, in the internet. There's plenty of value there, and there's negatives and positives with it, but there's enough positives that I'd say that is worth some investment. Blockchain, again, educate yourself about it, but I'd say from what I know about it, I'm fine not doing that. Yeah, and AI, that's, I don't know if they're actually referring to AI. Like, that term has been thrown around a long time. Like, oh, this NPC has AI. No, it has. AI is very different from what we often misuse the term with, so I'm not even getting into that. There's a part of this I know you guys are already getting the energy. I'm like depressed. That's because I've already read this through once, and I'm waiting for us to get to the part that really depressed me. In the AI space, we established Square Enix AI and Arts Alchemy Co. Ltd. AI, in March 2020 to pursue development efforts in the wider field of entertainment AI, rather than being constrained by traditional concept of gaming AI. The firm's R&D efforts focus primarily on natural language processing, world models, and simulation technology. These efforts will help us develop the games that we release into the world and enhance their overall quality. But that is not all. By incorporating the output of these R&D efforts into virtual avatars and elsewhere, we plan to apply that output to a wide variety of content and provide the relevant technology to other companies, with a view of leveraging these R&D efforts across our entire digital entertainment business. Right. Lastly is blockchain games. Again, I've explained this several times. Be they single-player or online games. Yes, because why don't we include this bullshit in single-player games? Oh, God. Games have traditionally involved a unidirectional flow whereby creators such as ourselves provide a game to the consumers that play them. By contrast, blockchain games, which have emerged from their infancy and are at this very moment entering a growth phase, are built upon the premise of a token economy, and therefore hold the potential to enable self-sustaining game growth. All I'm gonna say is, for the people who played Diablo 3 back in the day, like when it came out, you remember the auction house? How there was real money trading? Imagine that, but with cryptocurrency. That's what that's referring to. And no, I'm not talking like in-game currency. I mean cryptocurrency. Like there's real-world value in what you're trading back and forth. Again, this is just like as I read, I'm just like they're sucking the life out of gaming. Like they're like remember when games were about games? When they were about having fun. They're about escapism. Well, apparently now they're about being a second job. They're about being in a digital world, earning real-world money, and doing buying and trading. Right. Because that's what I want for my games. I want them to be another job. That's why I play games. The driver that most enables such self-sustaining game growth is diversity, both in how people engage with interactive content like games and in their motivations for doing so. Advances in... We're about to get to the part, by the way. Advances in token economies will likely add further momentum to this trend of diversification. I see the play-to-earn concept that has people so excited as a prime example of this. I realize that some people who play to have fun... Modern gaming! Welcome to modern gaming, folks! Modern gaming, where play to have fun is in quotes. Where only some people play to have fun? What, you got a car to drive it? Are you one of those play to have fun people? Did you get a doorknob to open doors? Are you one of those pay... Yes. Yes. I'm one of those play to have fun people, and apparently that's in quotes. I realize that some people who play to have fun... Who does that? It's like that's the purpose of fucking video games. Anyway. And who currently form the majority of players have voiced their reservations towards these new trends, and understandably so. However, I believe that there will be a certain number of people whose motivation is to play to contribute. By which I mean to help make the game more exciting. Here we go. Traditional gaming has offered no explicit incentive to this latter group of people, who were motivated strictly by such inconsistent personal feelings as goodwill and volunteer spirit. Oh my fucking god. Let me read that again for y'all, folks. Just let me read it. I'll read it in a normal voice and see if it sounds better. Traditional gaming has offered no explicit incentive to this latter group of people who were motivated strictly by such inconsistent personal feelings as goodwill and volunteer spirit. The man literally said, fuck that, why would people do that? Like, the guy, this reads as scoffing at the concept. Motivated by strictly inconsistent personal feelings as goodwill and volunteer spirit. Fuck this guy. Oh my god. Yoshi P for president. Yoshi P for president of Square Enix. Although he probably wouldn't be happy there, so never mind. I take that away. I don't think he'd be happy in that position. The only people who are happy in a position like this are these kinds of assholes. You know what? I'm not going to read the rest. You guys want to read the rest? Go ahead. It's all more or less more bullshit about NFTs. It's more bullshit about all this. And honestly, I could have just summed up this whole article right here. Right here sums up everything you need to know about this article. The future of gaming is looking bleak. And I feel really bad for Yoshi P's team right now because all the goodwill they have garnered recently, all of the people coming into FF for Endwalker and have been enjoying the game, and a lot of people have been saying like, wow, Square Enix has made an awesome game. They seem to be a cool company. Well, apparently only the 14 studio is cool. Because the company's being led by this asshole. Make sure to like and subscribe.